Welcome back to Just Joshing with Jakota. It's been a while. Not our fault, but I'm Josh. That's Jakota. I really don't know how to introduce these ones, but we're trying something new by request of a whole bunch of people trying to get us to do another show to, source the entertainment through this strange time we're living in at the moment.
Yes. The strangeness is strange, huh?
Yeah, dude, it's so weird. Like, I always imagined this kind of stuff when I was like little, right? Been like, oh man, what's the end of the world gonna be like? Is it gonna be? I mean, not that this is the end of the world. We'll get over it, but like, I was always kind of like freaked out about like what could happen, you know?
Right.
Like,
you know what's weird?
What's that?
I'm not even as scared over a pandemic as I am of being war-stricken country. You know what I mean? Like that. I think being in a war-stricken country is probably more terrifying than being in a pandemic.
Oh, me too. Because we're safe, like
right.
as much as we can be. Like we're self isolating. Both of us are not sick. Haven't been sick. It isn't what do you call it? Symptomatic? How do you say the word? Asymptomatic? So we could be sick and not know it.
We could be, yeah.
But I don't believe we are because everyone so far, as far as I know, begins to feel it after a few days, right? So, yeah. Luckily, we don't have it.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Exactly.
Chances are we would be fine, but man, so we've actually in our why don't we start from the beginning? When it first started happening, we hadn't seen each other for weeks. Like, how long has it been already?
A month. It's been over a month because you left the country there for a bit.
Right.
And then you got back, and then I still couldn't see you until weeks after that, actually. Yeah, because we actually had some plans, and then we were gonna bank up on some videos and stuff, and then it changed. When I came back, the border was still open, and yeah. So those who don't know, I went over to LA to go get my pickup truck, and I came back probably. I don't actually know how long before but quite a while before the actual border closure and the quarantine, mandatory quarantine thing that they were having for people coming from out of the country. And then, but you've been here the whole time. I've been here the whole time. I've been, just trying to stay safe. Dude, I'm so glad that you got back into the country before. I mean, dude, that would have sucked. You wouldn't have been able to do much.
No, I would have had to stay in the same place that I was at. Where I was staying, I never even heard of the virus hardly. I mean, I heard of it, but it wasn't. Not that I watched much TV while I was there, but I didn't hear anything about it on the radio or nothing. You know what I did hear, though? You know what was weird? You know what I did hear? Is the one radio station I was listening to, they were talking about how Canada has unsafe food. And they thought the virus was coming from Canada because of our unsafe food that they buy.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Why would they buy the unsafe food?
Right, they're saying well, maybe the meat coming in from Canada isn't safe because of the FDA doesn't exist in Canada. Which, by the way, I believe it does exist in Canada. I think we actually have stricter food laws than they do in maybe not all of the U.S., but certainly some of the U.S. because of our agricultural laws with factory farms and stuff. So
yes,
I thought that was very strange that they said that. Obviously, they didn't know, but they were also trying to make it funny, right? They're just trying to be funny, right? So I mean, I don't actually know what they were talking about exactly because I wasn't listening to the whole show, but I was just like, wait, what? And I believe they were like pretending or joking about that's maybe where the virus came from. So I did hear a little bit about it while I was there, but not too much. But
well, like in the beginning, not a lot of people knew like very much about it.
Right.
People were thinking that it was. I mean, me myself. Like when I thought that it was no big deal. I believed that it was,
the same as like swine flu and stuff, just like
right, which sucks. Like I've actually changed my. Well, I used to think, oh well, it's not as bad as this that happened to us like last year or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, well, we went through this and it killed this many people. No one blew it out of proportion then, right? That was my mindset, was being blown out of proportion, which was actually not the fact. It is as serious as they're saying it is, and I feel a little silly for believing that it wasn't, and like I was, visiting with people and stuff, which I shouldn't have. But now I am doing the social distancing as much as I can, and I'm taking this as seriously as I can.
Right.
I hope that everyone else does as well.
Yeah. Well, the thing is there's a lot of misinformation out there, right? And there's a lot of conspiracy. Right. And since government is so unreliable, it's hard to believe them over a lot of things, even the serious things, because they have a habit of lying, which is unfortunate. But the thing is that the thing is though is that scientists aren't politicians, and they don't care about ratings. They care about people not dying. So it's probably best to listen to those folks and whoever else knows about these things instead of conspiracy and stuff like that. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. People say like this is population control, and I'm like you can't possibly believe it's population control and that it's harmless. Doesn't make any sense because so far the government is doing a terrible job at population control, based on our population growing up to almost 8 billion people. Like I remember when I was a kid talking about like 6 and 7 billion. And I thought that was insane, right? But I'm just like, what? But anyways, point is we're safe. Hopefully everyone else is safe. Hopefully no one else is experiencing the difficulties that come with this, especially people who live where like healthcare you have to pay for and all that kind of stuff. Here, fortunately in Canada, we don't have to pay for our healthcare up front. We pay for it in our taxes, and therefore we don't even notice it. Whereas in like some other countries, namely our neighbor to the south, they have to pay for theirs. If they have good insurance, then they don't have to pay a lot, but they still have to pay some. Whereas we don't have to pay a penny except for in our taxes, and we end up paying the same amount of taxes. The average person pays the same amount of taxes as the average American. It's kind of actually weird. Although I'm not super educated in it, so that information could be wrong, but I believe that is correct. But
that's funny. That's funny that you say that, because like even though there is like limited access to healthcare in some areas, we got people over here like licking toilet seats on airplanes and stuff.
Yeah, what the heck is that? I saw that.
I couldn't believe I read a headline, right?
Yeah.
Like that can't possibly be. Well, I can't even remember what the headline read exactly. But it was like something along the lines of Corona challenge or new Corona challenge or something. It's like, what's that? Click on it, and it's just like this chick just full tonguing the toilet. And it's like, on an airplane, I think it was.
Why would you do that, Corona or no Corona? Why would you ever lick the toilet? Especially on an airplane, man.
You know what I would have done, though, if that was me? I would have sanitized and then I would have licked it. I was thinking about that actually today, where yes, I was thinking about this girl licking a toilet because it was bothering me, and I was like, okay, well, if I was to lick a toilet she obviously did it for the views, right?
Right, right, because you can get paid for anything that you do on the internet if it gets enough views, right? They're gonna throw it. Well, I mean, maybe not anything, but like views pays.
Right, exactly. So if I was thinking about this, and I was like, well, what's a quick way to get famous? You do something crazy. What's something crazy? Oh, licking a public toilet seat. No one does that. That's insane. I would have sanitized that, and then obviously I wouldn't have told anybody. But
yeah, but
I'm sure she. It's disgusting regardless, no matter which way you spin it, whether you sanitize it, whether you mop it, whether you throw it in the freaking washing machine. It's disgusting. Butts have been all over it. Why would you do that? I don't understand. I don't get it.
Yeah, that is weird. Speaking of weirdness, like that's probably like at the top of the heap for what I've seen most recently. I mean, I don't know if I've seen the same video as you, but I remember one of my friends showed me that. They're like, you know what's crazy? This. And I'm like, yes, you are not wrong. That is absolutely crazy. But you know what else is weird? Is when people, okay, so I was in LA for almost a whole, well, I was in LA for a whole month, right? And you know what's weird? So this is so where we live, we got roads that are regular roads, and they suck for reasons based on their maintenance, right? They got potholes and stuff like that. In LA, dude, the roads suck because, like, remember when you lived there, the freeways have no freaking signs like that warn you far back. Well, some of them do, but like you will sneak up on them, and they'll be like a one-laner like thing in the middle, like right beside like a freaking Albert and Walters, and then you'll just turn right after the drive-through, and then you're like, oh, now I'm going on the freeway. What the heck?
Right.
Dude, yeah. Driving there tripped me out, man.
It was a nightmare. Like, even if you're not even trying to exit, it's a nightmare just driving down the damn highway.
Yeah.
You're not at, like, the sweet spot. Like, rush hour is, like, all day. Like, you're not...
Well, when I drove, I actually the traffic didn't bother me. What bothered me was there's the sign, like the roads are names. They're not numbers. So you can't be like, oh, 3rd Street leads to 4th to 5th to 6th to 7th the more I go down this avenue. No, it's like whatever, Ventura Boulevard. I'm like, that seems familiar, I guess. Santa Monica. No, that seems familiar too. Which road do I go on?
Yeah, dude, I had to recognize my surroundings. Like, I'm bad with friggin' addresses and, you know, all that. Yeah, go down this street, and then they'll name it. I'm like, dude, just tell me what it's by, right? I got to recognize the stuff around me.
Yeah,
and,
same.
Like, that helped me a lot when I lived there as well. So it was like, it'd be like, okay, well, where do I need to go? So, like, if I was talking to Ken, he would be like, okay, you remember where the Big Boy restaurant is? I'm like, oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, all right, well, if you just go down here. So, like, he couldn't tell me, go down whatever Ave, street, whatever.
Yeah.
Because it was a nightmare. It was like, dude, I'm not going to remember that. That's terrible.
You're
like,
talking about...
Yeah, go next to the Hollywood sign and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, dude, I never even saw the Hollywood sign until, like, my last week there, I think. We didn't do much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were busy the whole time, right? Like, I was fixing the truck that I went down there to get, right? It took up all the time. But, like, dude, speaking about landmarks, that's how I got home the first time. I was driving aimlessly, and I'm like, dude, I'm probably going to Anaheim at this point. I have no idea where I am. Then finally I see the Disney Animation Studio, and I'm like, yes! I live close to there! And then I'm like, okay, what's next? And I remember, like, and it was night. Like, I would leave in the morning at daytime, and that was easier because, like, I could see the things. But the way home was different than the way to Ken's. And by the way, for everyone listening, I was staying in Burbank, and I was going about, I don't know, half an hour away if there was no traffic, which some of the days there was no traffic, half an hour away to Montrose, and like in the daylight. And then at night, it looked completely different, and you had to take
completely different.
You had to take different road too, right? Like it's not the same. It's not a twinned highway or anything. It's just it's like a different thing. They're like, you know what? Let's make it so it's not easy to get back.
Well, it's no better than Calgary. I would say Calgary is a nightmare.
Yeah, Calgary sucks too. Calgary is our sister city here. Like, we live in Edmonton, which is nice because it's grid-style roads. In Calgary, it's all rounded and sucks.
You gotta go, like...
There'll be a bridge randomly, like, you'll just... right? And you're just like, wait, what? What? This bridge turned south. I need to go east.
You gotta take a detour to get to, like... somewhere that you can't go unless you take one certain road and stuff like that. Like that stuff,
yeah.
I think is
yeah,
annoying.
You can't take the next exit because the next exit goes the opposite direction.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like if I was a builder of roads, I would probably like.
Well, that's up to the planner.
Some sort of like elevator system for cars, so like that way it doesn't matter if you just go on the elevator, go up, go on the bridge. The one-way bridge that you like, so dumb. I don't know.
Yeah, dude. I don't like driving in Calgary either. Like there's some galleries down there that I liked going to, and then I took forever to find how to actually get to them. There's one in particular because like they they were located in an area that you had to go take an off ramp that was barely even said what it was. It looked like it was like a service road, but it was a main road. You just couldn't tell because it was a one-laner. But if you didn't take it, then you would have to take the freaking, I don't know, this other bridge. So when I said bridge earlier, I'm thinking of this bridge in particular where it just takes you randomly, and then you have to go like 15 minutes to get back because you can't turn around.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a pain.
I wonder what process these things have to go through for them to be like, how do they not think that these things are not going to work?
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably because they don't want to take down any buildings, right? Because this one bridge, it goes above all these buildings. And people from Calgary hopefully will know what I'm talking about. I don't even know which neighborhood it's in, but it sucks to be there. It's downtown somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how have you been keeping busy while this thing is happening?
Well, I've been fortunate enough to have some commissions, like drawing commissions. I am working on a couple of other personal projects as well, which I can't get into much detail just because it's...
You're gonna make videos for your own channel?
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna make video? Are you gonna film it for your own channel?
Yeah. So like, I have a million ideas, dude. I feel like it's weird. I almost approach. So we're talking about when I say projects, like that means like videos and not just commissions and drawing stuff. So like videos. So I almost approach my videos like I approach my photography. Like I don't put something out unless I'm proud of it.
Right.
So like working on videos is what am I trying to say? I mean, it obviously takes longer than a picture would. Um, yeah, I can't talk about I can't go into too much detail just because some of the things, I don't want to give away. You know what I mean? It's a secret. And I can't wait for when I do drop, I'm working on merchandise, I'm working on videos, and I'm working on, scripts and stuff like that, which is super fun. It's definitely been keeping me busy, and I love it. So, I mean, expect things in the future, but don't hold your breath. You know what I mean?
Right.
It takes time. I'm trying to spruce up my acting here, and just it's a process.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm working on this sculpture right now that is made out of paper, and I had no idea that it would take this long. I was just like, oh yeah, I'll make something simple out of paper, and it was inspired by me cleaning up. So I even added to the set here a little bit. I put on some shelves and put some of our knickknacks and stuff on it. And then I was like, okay, I'll clean up my temporary studio because it looks like with the corona being here, I'm not going to be able to make the money I was hoping to. So my studio that we were going to share in my 4-car garage, I was hoping that would be done this year, but we're likely not going to be able to make the money to make that a reality. So I was like, you know what? I'll clean up my temporary studio here in my basement. And then I'm like, I have all these cardboard boxes for shipping out orders and stuff. And I'm like, I'll clean all this up. And then I find this jawbone in the closet. I'm like, ooh, I'm inspired to make a animal sculpture based off of this. And then I'm like, okay, and I'll film that. And I'm like, that's gonna be my next video. And then it's taking me days and days. And then as you know, I had a client before Christmas ask me to give him a quote on some work there with our friend Johnny B. And then he was like, hey, let's go ahead with it, which I'm lucky that construction is an essential service because I'm not selling art like I wish I was. So I'm like, okay, I'll do this guy's thing. So we've been doing that. You as well have been helping out on that project, which has been fun because the guy is like, he's like, yeah, let's do some cool, funky stuff in the house. So far right now we're just fixing some stuff, and then when we get to the finishing, hopefully we'll be able to get creative and stuff. But yeah, we've been doing that. Man, I feel like we haven't done one of these shows in a long time. It's hard to know where to begin.
Man, you know what's weird for me actually is not seeing you. You know what I mean? Interacting over the phone.
Yeah, it is weird, right? You're not I'm sitting behind the desk, dude. I got a new chair. Got a new chair for the set, right? It's more comfortable than that fold up metal thing I had. We'll be at the same height, I think now. This compared to the couch, I think anyways. It's way more comfortable. It's a little squeaky, but you know.
Did you put it? Are you sitting?
I'm sitting in my spot, dude.
You're sitting where, sorry?
In my spot.
Oh yeah, you are. Yeah.
And I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you on the phone, which is in front on the desk, but I'm positioned like I would be.
Yeah, that's expected. That's so funny.
Right? I could do this anywhere.
Do that.
I could do it anyway. I could do it. I could be taking a bath right now, relaxing bubble bath or something.
I'm actually in my bed right now.
Yeah, makes sense. Hey, so you told me yesterday that you might be getting a bigger space. So when people watch your Madness Mondays, they know what your room looks like, and that's where you shoot your Madness Monday lives. And
right.
But now you might be getting a bigger space, possibly.
Yes, so there might be some changes coming up here in the coming, or I guess during the next month.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how interesting that is to folks, but it is to me because I but I'm not a decorator, but I like decorating, if that makes sense.
Right.
And so do you.
Right.
I remember like when growing up, we shared a bedroom, like almost, dude, we shared a bedroom up until you moved away. Well, I guess first I moved away, then I moved back, and then you moved away. So that was, that was most of our lives.
Like our whole lives,
We shared a bedroom, and we liked to
I moved out when I was 17.
So did I. So I moved out when I was 17. Then I moved back when I was 19, I think, and then you moved out, and then moved back when you were 18 for a little bit.
No, I was definitely I was gone when I was 17 until I was like 20.
Oh, okay. There must be there must be a little discrepancy somewhere. I don't remember exactly, but yeah. Anyways, the point is that our room was like, wow. I mean, we were kids, so we had a certain taste that we don't necessarily have now. But like every so often, we'd like take down all the posters we had, rearrange it, move the furniture around, just to make it new, move the bed. Like we even lifted our bed so that we could have like a little area underneath the bed and stuff.
Right. Yeah, man, I remember all that.
Right, because it was a bunk bed. It was a bunk bed, and then underneath the lower bunk, we lifted that up so that we could have it even more space to like. I don't even know why, but it was inconvenient to get in and out of it because it was blocked by some storage and stuff, so we had to go like between the wall and the bed and like scrunch under there, get under there, and then if you wanted to leave, you had to like inch your way backwards to get back out, scrape your back on the metal bed.
You know what I remember, dude? I remember like not only that bed, but like you had that other bed where it was like hollow. It was like a double-decker bed, dude. That brown thing that you had, remember?
Yeah, I remember, dude. I even remember getting it.
Dude, so do I, dude. I remember, dude, that was like the best hiding spot for hide and seek, dude.
Yeah,
that was so good. I remember the first time that you ever used it. So, like, how would we explain this bed? So this bed was had like shelving. Like, dude, this bed was old. So
yeah, so it had a foot. I had a headboard that had shelving in it, and it had a footboard that was just a regular foot of the bed, whatever.
Yeah, dude, you had that shit since the townhouse, dude.
Yeah.
Right, that was the first house that I ever remember living in.
Yeah, I had it for years. So that we lived in that house from when I was about 2 years old till we were probably I was in kindergarten, so 3 years maybe, something like that, 2 or 3 years. And then, moved it over to the new house. Yeah, so this bed, if you can imagine, it had to go up against the wall on one side. Otherwise, it would be open underneath by about a good 2 feet, I would say, at least. Probably more. We couldn't stand up in it, but we could be on our knees underneath the bed.
Right.
But
and there was like you could fit like 5 kids in there easily.
Yeah. And then it was
underneath there comfortably.
Yeah. And then it was held together by like some other framing. And then we would hide under there playing hide and seek by like moving it over a tad because there was like handholds underneath it just with the embellishments of the footboard. We would move it over, crawl through between the wall and the mattress to get underneath, and then take that same handhold embellishment area and then move it back. And then when someone would come to look for you, you would just have to hide in such a way that it was hard to see you by like right? Like,
and there's no light that's shining under there.
No. It's dark under there.
Right. It's dark underneath the bed. So like, dude, I remember when so like when Dalton, our nephew, okay, so this is what I remember.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
One day, we were playing hide and seek. You went underneath the bed, right?
Uh-huh.
And I had the idea to go underneath the bed after you. So you were already in there, right?
Yeah,
like,
you were.
Let me in. So like you lifted it up.
Right.
I snuck under there, and like for the life of me, dude, I couldn't like when Dalton was looking for us. He was like, I hear some more laughing.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I was just gonna say that. I hear some more laughing. Like, yeah, you couldn't shut up.
I couldn't stop snickering,
dude. You were like, and he would do that. He would stop, and then like we were looking underneath the crack where we used to move it, and then you'd see his feet, right? And then he would be like, you could see that he would stop because he'd hear you, right. And I'm like, dude, shut up. And then you would laugh, and he'd be like, I hear some laughing. I hear some more laughing. And then he.
So funny. Oh my gosh! And like we took hide and seek pretty seriously. Like we were like when we were trying to hide, like we tried to hide good.
Yeah, hide in toy boxes and then stack the other toy boxes on top of it.
Yeah.
Dude, like
that was so fun.
I remember we even hid behind a couch that had a blanket cover sort of thing on it, and we like moved the couch away from the wall, and then like fashioned a false back to the couch, so it was even hard, right? It just looked natural, right? I mean, if you stop to look at it, you'd be like, "Wow, that's a really big back to the couch." But yeah, I remember because we used to play with Ken too. He would help us hide better. Yeah. I think we even tried to hide in the washing machine before, but we weren't allowed to do that. I think we got in trouble for that before.
In the washing machine? How the heck?
Or sorry, not in the washing machine, but in the dryer.
In the dryer.
Dude, I remember one time, dude, we put you in the dryer and then turned it on for fun to see what it'd be like to spin around in it. And you're like, dude, it gets too hot too quick.
It gets too hot. Dude, yeah, dude, I must have spun like 3 times. I did a full 360 like 3 times. And then, dude, it was like a freaking oven. That is no joke, dude. I was like, I thought it was like, I didn't think it was that serious. I was like, how serious could it be, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. Turn it on. Whatever. I was like, dude, this is awesome. I can't believe this is working. I went in these little circles, and I was like, oh,
dude, what if I didn't believe you and I just like held the door closed, kept it on?
Dude, you would have known eventually because I probably would have been burning.
Yeah.
And that you would have been like, wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute.
That sounds a little serious.
Those aren't fun screams. Just be all like, did you have fun? And you're like passed out. Oh man, yeah, that was stupid. But yeah, we did that. I remember also like the games that we would play in so when we would play like cops and robbers and stuff, and we would like get our friends to play, and we'd take it all seriously, and like you know, whatever, when someone would get killed by the cop or whatever, then like the story would have to get so much intricate to kind of like you'd have to introduce a new character so that you wouldn't have to be dead the whole time. So you'd be like, oh yeah, the bad guy's brother's coming or whatever, right? We'd have to figure out a way to like keep it, you know, so that the story wouldn't have to be started over or whatever, because we were invested, right? We had like names. We were like, all right, you're so and so and so and so and whatever. And then when we would play with our friends, they would have to like play it seriously. I remember like, do you remember? I know you remember this, but we used to have this thing. I don't know why we came up with this character, or 2 characters, but we used to play it all the time. And like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do know what you're talking about. We called it
Jamie and Jamie.
Sorry, what?
We called it Jamie and Jamie.
Yes, Jamie and Jamie. That's what
you were just gonna say? Yeah.
That's what I was getting to. Yes. So we would play that, and it was like an adventure. Like, we were always the most badass. Like, just like
whatever
people.
We were like Indiana Jones plus like.
We were like secret agent, like.
Yeah.
Super spy kids or whatever.
Yeah, like Indiana Jones with James Bond and like.
Right.
Mix in like MacGyver, just like any like cool person on TV. We were all of them combined into these two brothers that for some reason had the same name.
Had the same name, but it was like cool though. It was like, oh yeah, we're the two Jamies. I don't even know why. Why Jamie?
I don't know. We thought that was a cool name.
Cool name.
Right? It could be a boy's name and a girl's name, and I don't know why.
Cool name.
Yeah. Like who?
That's so funny.
What person names both their kids the same name? Like the logic didn't matter. It's not like we weren't pretending to be friends. We were pretending to be brothers with both the same name. Yeah. We just felt like, yo, I'm Jamie. This is Jamie. Whatever. And then we had like our toy guns, and we'd go on the trampoline and do like flips and stuff, and like have a story going on, dodging bullets and stuff like the Matrix, and just be like. Play it. And then we had like that I don't know what it's called, but like that rocking horse thing with the springs, you know, that plastic horse.
Oh my gosh, man, I remember that freaking thing. That thing was dangerous, dude.
Wow, we were too big for it, so we would play with that thing to the max. Like we stretched that thing to the limit.
Dude, that thing was so awesome. I actually really liked it.
Yeah, so did I. We
I remember, dude. I remember that, man. That thing, holy crap! That thing took some abuse.
Yeah, it did. Well, that would be incorporated in our Jamie and Jamie games. Man, people who are listening to this are probably like, "What the heck is that even?" But like when you're a kid, like your imagination is just like, yeah, it doesn't matter. You have the same name. Don't even matter. Now let's go set some traps for the landlord to fall into.
Man, you know what I really liked? Okay, so I remember, so when we were in school, like when we were really young, so I guess I was in grade 2. Or 3, I can't remember. I liked jumping off of real tall shit and dying. You know what I mean? Just dying and then...
Oh, like in an old Western.
Yeah, like you're right. Yeah, exactly.
Like in the Big Valley.
Shoot off the balcony or whatever.
Yeah.
The Big Valley. That was such a good show. Oh man, I love that show. That blonde haired dude, he was my favorite. I don't know what his name was, but I was like, yeah, that guy's cool. Anyway, so like, or like in any Western, right? You shoot someone off a balcony or whatever, and they would like, and then they would like dramatically die or whatever.
Yeah, they'd somehow break that railing, no problem.
Yeah.
Just like by leaning against it.
Table.
Yeah, break through a table, yeah.
I thought that, so like, when we would play at the park, my favorite thing to do was to be like, yeah, kill me next.
And then you'd
jump off of the highest thing. I thought like the higher, like, and then like you would go limp, right? Like you would, you would actually pretend to die, right? You would freaking, and at the last second you would like land on your feet, and then you would like do tuck and roll or whatever it was, whatever you, right?
Yeah.
It was so dangerous. I can't believe that we would do that, man. Like, like pretty much belly flop, and then like at the last second just
yeah,
land on your feet. And then, like, whatever. But I love doing that. Like, it hurt my ankles, but I was like, where's it? As I'm, like, bleeding inside my ankles. Like, that's...
But it was all for the dramatic effect. And then when you would die, like, because in movies, like, they would die, and then to show that they were actually dead after their final breath, their, like, hand would move or whatever.
Right.
Right? And settle. Or their head would, like, settle down or whatever. Like, we would do that, but, like, too much. It would be like the head would move, then the arm would move, and then the hand would move, and then the fingers would move. Then the leg would fall down. You know? It was just, like, it was too much.
I love that. That's so funny.
Yeah. We just wanted it to be the best for visuals, even though, like, it wasn't captured. It was just... in the moment.
We totally should have like filmed that stuff, man.
Yeah, but like, how? We would, like, it wouldn't have been the same because we would have been concerned about it being filmed and stuff. Like, I remember, like, the first time I remember being filmed is searching for Easter baskets at our sister's house in Arizona there. And I remember you bastard, you found both baskets.
I did find both baskets, huh? I was excited. I asked them, you know what? I felt really bad that I found your basket. And you were pissed.
Yeah. Yeah, I was. Because I was like you found yours in the culvert thing. And then, like, because this...
remember.
This was...
that it was yellow.
Yeah, this was outside, right? It was in the culvert because there was a date farm right next to us. And they had those... What do you call those? Canals or whatever?
Right.
So yours was in one of those, but in the culvert that went under the driveway, right? And I remember she kept saying, "Hey, you can't. You got to watch out for scorpions. You can't just stick your hands in there, right? Because like they hid that stuff like probably an hour before, so who knows what could have been in there? Rattlesnakes, who knows, right?
Right. And to clarify that, this was in Arizona.
Yeah, it was in Arizona in Yuma. Yeah. So
that this happened.
Yeah, and then so there's. You find that, right? We're searching around. It's a big property, and then like a lot of like outbuildings or whatever, because there was like horse whatever stables and stuff or whatever they were. Anyways, you find yours, then you go running. I even remembered the footage because we watched it, and I think I even watched it somewhat recently, not recently, but when I was like 15, I think I watched it again. I think our sister showed it to me. Anyways, there's you and your stupid freaking clothes you got for Easter, which is weird to get clothes for Easter. Remember you got like the track suit or whatever? So did I. I got a red one, you got a blue one. Right, it was shorts and it was like jersey material, whatever that stuff is. And you're freaking running. You're running. You caught a glimpse of it or something. You run over to it, and it's in this like.
It was in a barrel.
It was in like this barrel thing.
It was probably a burn barrel or something.
I think it was a compost barrel.
Yeah.
Because it was on its side.
Yeah, it was on the side. I think they knocked it. I think they put it down.
Or it could have been that. It could have been that it was just a barrel knocked down. Anyways, you somehow saw it, and then you ran over there, and you're like, "It's over here! It's over here!" And I'm like, "Oh man," I was so bummed because you were so excited to find the first one, and then the second one you find it too, and I'm like, "Ah!" Didn't even get to find it.
You closed your ears, and you didn't have to hear me yell that I found it.
Wow.
That is a bummer, though. I felt really bad. I was just excited. I remember being excited. I just wanted you to have yours right away, I think.
Yeah, it could be. But anyways, yeah, so I remember that's the first time I remember being filmed. And then like we went to the river and stuff. Filmed that. I was scared of the water. Dude, I pretended I didn't want to be in the water because it was so cold. Which it was. It was freezing cold. But I really didn't want to be in the water because I was scared. Even though I had a life jacket on and I knew I could float.
I knew you were scared, dude. I went in. I was terrified.
Yeah, well, you eventually just jumped in and then realized that you could float good. And then, like, you couldn't swim worth a damn. But, like, when they, like, everyone else would, like, swim away from you, then you'd get kind of freaked out again. And then you'd have to, like, when you were close, you were fine. Or if you were close to the dock. I remember.
Yeah, I remember chilling by the dock a lot because I was terrified. Yeah, that was scary, dude. I totally remember you. They were trying to convince you to go in, and you're like, no.
Yeah, no, I hated it. Like, I was in, and then I would not let go of the dock. I was like, screw this. Dude, and I wasn't scared of drowning. Although I probably was scared of drowning, but I remember just being scared of this water is freaking brown. I can't see anything. I'm not... What are you talking about? There's rattlesnakes in the desert. What's in the freaking water?
Yeah, hey man, I guess I was just thinking logically. You know what I mean? You're like, damn, why would I put my foot at risk if I don't even need to go into the water. I don't even like this.
Yeah, dude, I've always been scared of water since I was real young, which stems from other stuff. But then, like, I'm still scared of water. Like, I can swim, sort of, but like, I'm not going in the ocean. Screw that. I don't even like going in lakes. Like, I swam across a river one time so that I could go get a fish hook that someone who was in our group, they casted their rod all the way across the river, which was it wasn't a wide river. It was more of a wide stream, let's say. It was probably like, I don't know, 40 feet across or something maybe like a little more than that. It was quite wide, but like it wasn't quite river wide. You know, it was probably like 45, 50 feet across. Anyways, I swam across that thing, but the thing is that I could see the whole thing, like it was crystal clear.
Right.
And also I was older at this point. I was 20 or something. So I was like, you know what? It's all good. I'm not scared of water so much anymore. But the ocean, I'm not scared of sharks or anything like that. Although I would be if there was one there. Like, I'm not stupid.
Hell yeah.
But like, I'm not, like, I know what a shark is, so that's not scary. Although I would be scared of one if I was in the water and there was a shark there. But like, what about the other stuff that no one knows about? Like, the ocean's so huge, you know?
Right.
There could be anything in there. Same with lakes. Like, I remember I went to the Okanagan, and they're like, oh yeah, this is the lake with the Ogopogo. And I'm like, shut up. I'm not going in here at all. And then instead...
Yeah, I don't know if I really like prehistoric dinosaurs in my, riverbeds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No. I don't like, dude, I don't even like those, just like, I've seen some of these fish that live at the depths of these oceans.
Yeah.
And, dude, they are creepy looking.
Yeah, they look like they're, like someone drew them, like someone like came up with them for like a horror movie.
Dude, it looks like they came from hell or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's...
they straight up came from Hades himself, and like he was like, "Yo, dude, check out my pets."
Gotta feed my goldfish.
Dude, look at this. Look at this. This one's got a light on it.
So that it can trick you into swimming into its mouth.
What? That's sinister.
Yeah, what the hell, man? Like that Finding Nemo one?
Right.
Then he just lights up like
What's that called?
It's called
vertebrate fish?
No, it's what?
I don't know.
No, it's I know the name. I just kind of forget.
Anglerfish?
Anglerfish, yes. Anglerfish. The one on Finding Nemo was embellished quite a bit, but like they look worse in real life.
Dude, have you seen a hagfish?
Gross. It's like a little eel-looking worm thing with like a anime monster mouth. Like, what the heck is this?
Have you seen the fish that looks like a person?
Oh, the blobfish?
Yes, dude, I love those.
Yeah, he's on Men in Black.
Dude, he's so cool. Well, I don't even... Dude, it's been a minute since I've seen Men in Black.
I think he's on Men in Black. Yeah, for sure. Well, he's in one of them, at least. I know that, because I was like, wait a minute, is that the blobfish? That is, dude, that looks like Ziggy. What the hell is he doing here?
I think it's like categorized as like one of the ugliest things on Earth.
It is. Have you ever seen the ugliest dog on Earth?
The ugliest dog?
Yeah.
Wasn't it like super just ugly?
Yeah, dude. It was like bred to be super ugly.
Really? Like, yeah. Didn't it have like huge teeth and like one big eye?
Yeah.
Scraggly hair.
Yeah, scraggly hair. Yeah. It looks super mangy and stuff, but it's like perfectly healthy. It's just ugly.
This looks ugly, man. Sometimes
like, here's my cute dog. Sorry, what?
Yeah, don't they have ugly competitions?
Yeah, they do.
I mean, like that's a thing. That's you win awards for being ugly.
Yeah, man. You're just like ugly and proud of it.
Yeah, man. Hey, man. If had that problem where like I was like definitive ugly, hell yeah, I would join those contests.
Just own it.
Like, what else? What else do I got going, man? It's like, what am I going to deny that I'm ugly? Well, I'm a 10. No, that'd be fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, you gotta live life. Like, I'm a strong believer in doing, like, as long as you're not hurting yourself or other people, do whatever you want that makes you happy. I think happiness above...
I'm trying to be an ugly dog, man.
Happiness above all else is what matters, right? Like, I'm hoping that after this corona thing is done, I hope people, like, realize a few things. That politicians ain't shit. Billionaires ain't anything to worship. They ain't shit. Old people and young people both contribute to the society, and they're both equal. Like, you don't like, because like people are shitting on millennials left, right, and center, and then vice versa, shitting on like that hashtag OK Boomer and stuff. Like, dude,
right.
Those people, like, when you blame a generation for screw ups, like, what are you talking about? It doesn't make sense. Yeah. I'm hoping, like, after this, like, or during it. I mean, it probably won't happen because of, people disagree and have their own opinions and form their own identities based off of their experiences and stuff. But, like, I just hope, like,
dude, I feel the same way. I hope that, there is a lesson to be learned, and I hope it doesn't go over people's heads.
It's certain. Well, I mean, dude, if you look at, like, man, some of the people, like, on my Facebook, I'm just like, what? I'm like, oh, this person just doesn't know. Let me just explain something that I happen to know. I'll just clickety-clack that into their reply box, and then I'm like, oh, this person isn't ignorant. They're an idiot. Because I will explain something, and then I'll do it again, and I'll do it again, and I'm like, what am I wasting my time for? They know the truth or whatever. I mean, I'm not the authority on all these issues, but when it's something that I absolutely know, and I put my input in there, and then they continue to, like, share things and, like, propagate things that aren't true, like the same thing, and I'm like, oh, this person just wants to be a shit disturber, or they're stupid. And I'm just like...
Also, people tend... Well, some people, I should say, don't read past the headline either.
Oh, definitely. I have people in my personal life who I know in real life who do that constantly. And then I'll be like, okay, you definitely didn't read this. There was someone on my Facebook who actually shared something that I read the headline and then I read the whole article, which took forever. And then I was like, do you ever do this thing where you, like, reply to it and then you're like, you backspace it? You're like, not worth it.
Yes.
Not worth losing the relationship. Dude. Well, this one, I actually agreed with the thing. And I'm not right on over everything, so let's get that out of the way. Of course I can be wrong, but I'm totally open to having my mind changed. Anytime I don't want to say debate, but anytime I get into these discussions with people, I'm like, look, if I'm wrong, I would rather be right, so correct me. But in this case, I totally agreed with what it said, and I was gonna say, because I suspected that he shared it on his own page when what he really wanted to do is have certain family members and friends see this thing, and I was gonna comment, you probably wanted to share this with so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, but you didn't want to come off as an asshole, so instead you shared it on your own page, huh? But then I was like, you know what? Backspace, that's not worth it. Like, I don't want to be that guy because, like, it's just not worth it. If it doesn't, whatever. So
I totally get it.
So I let it go. And I'm sure there's other people who are like that. And, I mean, these people probably think they're right to a certain degree. Right. But, I mean, no matter how many times certain things are proved to them or how many sources or how many times the person that they are on their team freaking disappoints and screws up and they're just like, nope, that's my guy. I support him no matter what. That's That's ridiculous. That happens all the time. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Did you not see this? Did you not see this? No, that's fake news. What? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now,
So
sometimes, you have to, some people don't want their minds changed, right?
Right. Well, it's because it's scary to have your mind changed sometimes.
Right. The truth is scary, all right? People want to be in their comfortable little bubble and be like, no, guys, everything is okay. Which, I mean, it's admirable, I guess, to think that way, but, I mean, it's dangerous, man.
Well,
Not everything is okay.
Yeah, sometimes it is okay, though, right? Sometimes you get the conspiracy wrong. And sometimes a person, is what they say they are, and they have a terrible way of coming across, right? That happens all the time. Like, even myself,
yeah, exactly.
I think I'm a pretty nice guy, but,
I'm a pretty swell guy. I'm a pretty alright guy.
But once you get a little sugar in me... Oh, that's funny.
I get a little cuckoo.
I get a little People are going to be like, what the heck is that?
Dude, I hope people know what that is. That's so funny.
They're going to be like, what? They're going to have to... They're going to have to Google that. I don't even know how you Google that, but definitely Google that because it's hilarious.
It's so funny. It's so
the internet opens up so much for just randomness. You're just like, what? Sorry, what did I just watch?
What happened before he turned on the thing?
Yeah, he's wearing a jacket, so he obviously was.
Inspired him to do that.
What's that?
Something had to have inspired him to make the video.
Right? Because he's in a jacket, right? So obviously he was away, but then he's in his bathroom, so obviously he came home. So he was just like, oh, real quick, before I can even take off my jacket and get comfortable, I really got to release my creative energies here. Okay, got my phone, and I just need to do a selfie video in the mirror. I'm a pretty nice guy. I'm a pretty swell guy. I'm an alright guy. I'm a pretty good guy, or whatever it says.
Oh, man, guys, you got to watch that. That's such a good video. If you want to laugh, definitely look up that video.
Or if you want to just furrow your brow in confusion, look up that video.
Right.
Right. I had someone the other day keep mentioning salad fingers. And I was like, salad fingers, man, I haven't seen that in a minute. Salad fingers.
It's been a minute.
And I was like, and they kept referencing him, and they're like, I like rusty spoons. I like how they feel on my fingers. And I'm like trying to remember. I'm like, is that salad fingers still? Because I couldn't remember what salad fingers was exactly. I remembered he was like this green dude who looked like a kind of like a monster sort of, but not really.
He looked like a zombie
thing.
Yeah, like a very tired. He looked very tired.
Right? Yeah, but he had because his eyes had dark circles around them or something, and I
don't think anyone's gonna know who salad.
Yeah, you'd have to Google it. But anyways, this person kept saying. So after that, I Googled it again to refresh my mind, and there's a ton of episodes on it. I've only seen one in my life, and I just rewatched it just to give myself a recap. Anyways, it's just this green guy with these fingers that are he has no hands. He just has 3 fingers on each wrist, I guess you could say. And they're really long, and for some reason he's enamored with rusty spoons. And the way he says spoons, dude, he's like, do you have any spoons? But he has this weird ominous voice. He's not exactly creepy, but he's unsettling somehow.
Right.
And he's
unsettling is a good word,
he's a cartoon.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird.
Right.
It's weird. The things that people come up with.
You're cutting out a bit, dude.
Am I?
Yeah.
Well, maybe this is a good point to leave it off, and then maybe we'll pick up again next week with another one of these over the phone.
Ooh, exciting!
Sort of things.
Dude, this was definitely different. This was different.
Right? Yeah, it was different. It's odd not having you like right here. Like I'm in my spot, and then this spot right here is empty. Like we got Rob and Jack up on the couch. They're just chilling there, and then it's just me in my chair.
Nice. Well,
it's like, what's going on here? So, anyways, guys, if you want to see what we're up to in this weird time, check out our individual social medias and channels. All that stuff will be linked in the description. I am aware, or we are aware, that some of the links don't work all the time, which is weird because they work when we post it. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but we will try to make sure that the links work if you want to check out our individual stuff.
Yes. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we hope to catch you next time.
Well, that actually wasn't so bad.
Yeah, I mean, I was just speaking moistly.
Oh man, I was just speaking moistly. Oh, what a dumbass.